The evening was warm, the grill sizzling with burgers, and a jazz melody drifted through the backyard when a voice cut through like a shard of ice. "That's the house my sister's claiming." My wife, Laura, froze, her glass slipping from her hand. I dropped the spatula, and our dog retreated, ears pinned. There stood Patricia, the HOA president, at the edge of our lawn, flanked by a woman in oversized sunglasses, a neon jumpsuit, and a perfume cloud that could stun a beehive. The woman, Vanessa, eyed our home like she was at a luxury auction, then pointed with the confidence of a general. "My sister Vanessa has chosen this house," Patricia announced. "You have 30 days to vacate." My mind reeled. Patricia's face stayed smug, unyielding. She stepped forward, handing me a letter on mock official HOA letterhead, citing an emergency reassignment provision and a family consideration clause transferring our home to Vanessa for her needs. My name wasn't even mentioned. "You're serious?" I asked, stunned. Patricia tossed her polished ponytail. "The board has approved. Start packing." Vanessa, scrolling her phone, added, "That kitchen's getting a complete overhaul." She didn't glance at us. Laura made a strangled sound, ready to snap, but I squeezed her arm, staying calm. Unbeknownst to them, 6 security cameras captured every word, one zooming in on Patricia's absurd letter. What they didn't know, and what made this move spectacularly foolish, was that I, Michael Bennett, was a federal civil court judge, deeply familiar with a case against Patricia's HOA for fraudulent assessments, overreach, and illegal occupancy demands. I wasn't assigned the case of my colleague, Judge Ramirez, but I'd nearly choked laughing when I saw Patricia's name on the defendant list. Today I played dumb. "Interesting," I said, scanning the letter, hiding a smirk. "Move-in date." Patricia, oblivious, replied, "First week of next month." Vanessa's hired movers. Clear your stuff before her wallpaper samples arrive. Vanessa, now photographing our patio, strolled into our yard uninvited, critiquing the shutters and planning a jacuzzi. Patricia lectured about community values and sacrifices for families in need. I asked what need Vanessa had. "Emotional recovery from a breakup," Patricia said, dead serious. "It's in our mission statement." I bit my lip to stifle a laugh. Laura stood, torn between shock and fury. Patricia dropped another bombshell. She'd updated the HOA database to list Vanessa as the pending owner and scheduled a locksmith for Friday. "Will police be involved?" I asked. "They won't be needed," she said smugly. "You'll be gone." I leaned against the deck railing, the audacity sinking in. This wasn't just entitlement, it was a legal ambush by someone ignorant of the law, thinking she could bully a judge out of his home with a fake rule. "You know, Patricia," I said, "I'll gather a few things to make this easy." She beamed. "That's the community spirit." Vanessa added, "Leave the blinds theory my vibe." Laura shot me a look like I'd gone mad, but I nodded and headed inside. In my study, I shut the door, pulled out the file labeled HOAV. Patricia Coleman, and added camera screenshots and a transcript of their nonsense. I called Ramirez. He laughed halfway through my recap. "She tried to take your house? That's next level bold." "It gets better," I said. "She's got a locksmith and an emotional hardship clause." He stopped laughing. "I'm moving the hearing up. Let's get this on record." Outside, Vanessa measured the patio, plotting an electric car charger, while Patricia peered into our shed. I opened the door, smiling. "Just called our insurance about the transfer, in case anything goes missing." Patricia hesitated, but nodded. Laura whispered, "What are you doing?" I replied, letting her dig her grave. "I'll hand her the shovel when the locksmith shows." That night, Vanessa posted our house on Instagram. Future home vibes. Patricia commented, "HOA's got your back, sis." I screenshotted it, adding it to the evidence pile. Patricia thought I was just another homeowner. She didn't know I was about to dismantle her reign. Morning brought Patricia marching down the street like a commander, clipboard in hand, trailed by a wiry man in a golf shirt. Leonard Walsh, a shady property assessor I recognized from 3 HOA fraud cases, unlicensed and under investigation. He was here to appraise my home for Vanessa. I opened the door before they knocked. Patricia announced a readiness inspection. "I thought the transfer was next month," I said, eyeing Leonard. She brushed it off. "Routine. Leonard's certified. Vanessa needs renovation plans." I stepped aside, always happy to help the community. They strutted in like appraisers, Leonard scanning with a laser, muttering numbers, Patricia noting dated flooring and poor lighting. Laura, in the den, looked up with a Chicago glare. "Can I help you?" Patricia smiled. "Just ensuring no surprises for Vanessa." Laura deadpanned. "Oh, she's in for a surprise." Leonard nodded at our cabinets while Patricia planned to rip out the kitchen bar. I asked Leonard if he was licensed. He stammered, "Yes," citing a fake board. I smiled, my lapel camera rolling. Patricia marched upstairs, declaring Vanessa would knock out our bedroom wall into the neighbor's lot. "She can do that?" I asked. She smirked. "Details. We'll handle it." They left after Leonard handed me a form with falsified lines claiming I'd agreed to vacate. "My lawyer will review," I said. Patricia stiffened but smiled. "Routine." I scanned the form, sent it to the state licensing board, and called Detective Sarah Kim from the HOA fraud unit. "You caught Walsh lying on camera?" she said. "Gift-wrapped case." The next day, Patricia taped a notice to our door, "Property transfer pending," stamped in red. Neighbors whispered, some texting to ask if we were moving. I replied, "HOA mix-up." Patricia waved smugly as she passed. She didn't know her HOA case had escalated to federal review after a board member's tip. I'd flagged it for priority, and prosecutor Rachel Nguyen, who despised bullies, was on it. That evening, I met 3 board members, Claire, Nathan, and Julie, at a diner. Claire, near tears, said Patricia forged her signature and threatened fines for leaks. Nathan and Julia confirmed no reassignment clause existed. "She's ruined lives," Nathan said. "I'll testify." I promised legal support. They agreed to an emergency meeting at my house. Patricia's silence broke Friday with a group message from Nathan. She'd scheduled an HOA meeting Sunday to legitimize the transfer. I offered my home as the venue, cameras ready. Sunday, Claire, Nathan, and Julia arrived, nervous but armed with bylaws and stolen files showing Patricia's unapproved fines and invented rules. At 1 p.m., Patricia barged in, heels clicking, Vanessa trailing with a binder and indoor sunglasses. "Let's start," Patricia snapped. I smiled. "Welcome. Meeting's in session." "Sit." She glared, noticing I'd taken charge. "This isn't sanctioned without my approval." Claire, voice shaky, countered. 3 board members can call a meeting." We did. Patricia's eyes widened. Vanessa flopped onto the couch. "Can we discuss move-in timelines?" "I've got rugs picked." Patricia silenced her, turning to the board. "This is my HOA. He doesn't belong," she said, pointing at me. I slid her fake letter across the table. "Explain this approved transfer." Her face twitched. "Internal document." Nathan cut in. "We've never seen it." "Where's that stamp?" Julia added. "It was decommissioned years ago." Patricia's empire crumbled as the board turned on her. She screamed, accusing them of betrayal, me of conspiracy. "We're leaving," she hissed to Vanessa, who whined, "So no house." They stormed out, Vanessa's perfume lingering like defeat. We drafted a resolution to suspend Patricia's powers and requested a county audit. That evening, Laura and I sipped coffee on the deck. "Now what?" she asked. "We wait. She'll escalate or collapse." A security alert buzzed. Patricia was on our porch, sobbing, disheveled, sitting for 10 minutes before vanishing into the night. Something had broken, but I knew she'd return fighting. Tuesday, the neighborhood erupted. Residents withheld HOA payments, demanding audits. A petition to oust Patricia gained 80% support. An anonymous package arrived, files showing Patricia's duplicate invoices, fake expenses, and HOA funds spent on Vanessa's patio. I sent it to Rachel, who replied, "Felony charges." State auditors raided the HOA office. Patricia arrived, screaming about vendettas, tearing a warrant in half. Phones captured it. Her meltdown went viral. Officer Lopez called. Patricia's harassment claim against me, citing her fake letter, was dismissed. That night, Vanessa tried to change our locks, caught on camera. I stopped her, warning of trespassing. She fled, vowing, "This isn't over." Friday, a lien hit Patricia's house for unpaid HOA taxes. Her meltdown peaked as movers emptied her home under a foreclosure order. Neighbors watched, some with snacks. Vanessa drove up, saw the chaos, and left, abandoning Patricia. Her house hit auction, proceeds covering penalties. Vanessa's social media went silent. She skipped town. The HOA elected Claire president, passing transparency rules. Neighbors waved freely, the air lighter. Wednesday, Rachel called. Warrants served. Charges filed for fraud, fund misuse, and attempted property seizure. I watched from my porch as Patricia was served, her knees buckling. Laura raised a wine glass. To the storm's end. I clinked mine. The next day, I hung a sign under Patricia's faded notice. Evicted by truth. Court approved. Justice didn't shout, it waited patiently until Patricia's lies collapsed under their own weight.